I failed at many things. I failed at Amazon. I failed at shop. And I know that word fail, right? I stumbled upon credit because I had to fix my credit. My first clients were free. Free, if not, I'll pay you. Kind of put my head down and just get results until we got closer to that milestone. And now here we are. Your first 100 clients, treat them like royalty because those 100 clients are going to refer another 100 clients.
What's next for you? What's the next big goal?
I see you have a 10 million plaque.
Hey, credit heroes. What if I told you that failure could be the key to building $1 million business? Our guest today proves it. And today I'm so excited to introduce you to our newest Millionaires Club member, Santiago Gill. He runs a 7-figure credit repair business built on second chances. So please welcome to the podcast, Santiago Gill. Hey, Santiago, welcome.
Welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me, Daniel and Keenan. I appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you being here. And I gotta say, congratulations on the Millionaires Club Award. How does it feel?
Oh man, it's very surreal. I mean, from the beginning, I would see a lot of people get the plaque, and I'm just like, just kind of put my head down and just get results until we got closer to that milestone. And now here we are. So thank you for the opportunity at the end of the day for bringing this platform since 2013. I just joined in 2023. So it's just excited to be here.
You did this in 2 years?
Yeah, 1.5 years.
Wow, that's amazing. That is so fast. And to get to $1 million, how does it feel?
Oh man, it's something that I feel like I failed at many things. I failed at Amazon. I failed at shop. And I know that word fail, right?
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned failures because I really think failures are an important part of success. I've failed miserably, but you learn from those failures. I think that's the most important part. Yeah, I want to know everything, but let's start with where did you grow up and where are you now?
So I grew up in Los Angeles by LACC. I was actually born in Peru, but we grew up in by LACC, Los Angeles, a lot of gangs. And then we moved out at 13. We moved to Burbank. I was going to be a police officer. And full circle, when I applied at the LAPD, I got through everything except my credit. They didn't approve me because of my credit at that time. I was like, okay, I'll just be a security guard. I started working as security guard at USC. And then I wanted to become a lawyer. So then I was like, yeah, I'll take some school at USC. If I get in, I get in. I applied, took some community college. Then I applied at USC, got in by the grace of God. And then I was going to, go to law school. Unfortunately, that didn't go good. I got denied by USC Gould Law. And that's when I told my wife, let me try this entrepreneurship stuff out. If it doesn't work, I'll go back and try law school again.
Amazing. And how long were you a Marine?
So 9 years.
Wow, that's a long time. And thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your support.
I want to know, so you couldn't become a cop. What drew you to doing online entrepreneurship?
So I started with Shopify, right? I followed a lot of people. Ads came up. I'm like, let me try this Shopify stuff. And I took a phone case and I took that phone case. I would get it for $2 and I would sell it for $30. All right. And we sold that at probably $120,000 worth. We tried the FBA stuff, but it was just too complicated. I fell out of love from it. And then, I don't talk about this much, but I got scammed for $50,000. Right. And then, I got scammed for $50,000. And that's where, it drew me to this credit stuff because my back was against the wall, had no money, right? Just racked up 50,000. And I was like, I got to figure this out.
And how did you start to learn credit repair?
So just watching YouTube videos. I joined a lot of mentorships.
Did you get your first clients?
Oh, good. That's a good question. My first clients were free. Free, if not, I'll pay you. Right? You're just hungry. Like royal red carpet. I'd hop on every call. I would do the back end stuff. I would just like want them to see value, educate them more. And that's where my first 100 clients were all like that. I remember, if anyone's watching, your first 100 clients, treat them like royalty, because those 100 clients are going to refer another 100 clients. And then it just goes back to customer service. And we went in and we just called every client just to say thank you. Hey, thank you for being with Latino Solutions. We know you can go with any other company, but thank you. We just appreciate just a thank you call. Right? And that goes a long way.
How did you find those first 100 people to do service? Like, where did you go? Who did you talk to get those first people?
I think with the failure of like Amazon and Shopify, I kind of grew my social media like a little bit. I had like maybe 5,000 followers on one of my Ecom Bulldogs pages, but they were people that I've already sold Amazon to, or I had a mini course that I would sell them to. So I had the people that I would just kind of like DM and show them a lot of value. And every time I learned something, I would apply it. But I would go on YouTube and just apply the information, right? So I'm there on YouTube, Zoom, share my screen, and kind of like, hey guys, do this, this, and this. I just did it. You guys can do it, right? And then that kind of grew into, over 120K on YouTube. And then Instagram, I think we're at like 111K.
You made this video about how people can add their kids to their credit card. I've seen other people with videos like that, but none of them go to 1 million+ views. What was so different about the video you made that made it go viral like that?
The quality, I believe the quality was one. The information, how it was asked, I think sparked a lot of controversy. So it was someone from the audience asking me the question, what age can you add your child to a credit card? Right? So it caused a lot of like, people were hooked.
Yeah.
And the comments were pretty interesting, because if you go to that video, I mean, it went from like, roasting me. I didn't care, right? Obviously, they were just giving me the good algorithm, but it was just a lot of back and forth. People were arguing with each other in the comments, and that's what it was.
And it got how many views?
Oh man, overall, I think like 5-6 million.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
that's incredible. And how did that change? That was pretty early on in your business, right? How did that change the business?
It made a lot of leads come in, and I used that as momentum, because I feel like it took me 2 years to get 7,000 followers, and then 2 weeks to get 60,000.
Wow.
So a lot of your early business did come from social media marketing and having this online presence.
Yes.
Even jumping back to your start in online business was econ, and that's what got your first clients, having some of that audience from econ. But if you were to do everything over again and like mentor someone in the space, what would you tell them to do to start to build that online following so that they can have free clients to work with?
I think a lot of just in general, people in any space, they're afraid to give out nuggets, right? They're afraid of what we call it, like free gems, right? Oh, I'm not going to show them how to remove a late payment. Like I know Daniel Rosen, you pretty found on these. You do a lot of videos when you're educating people just on some free education. Not like come buy my software. It's just more like, look guys, you guys can do this. It's super easy. And these are the ways you can remove a late payment and stuff like that. So always adding value to the consumer, and then give them like a freebie. It's just a freebie. And then the reciprocation comes, or like, man, I want to do business with that person because I've executed on what he told me. And it's true. I added my daughter at 13. Now she's got a credit card. So things like that, I feel like is very important. And I don't think you don't need a fancy camera, right? You already have one. You have an iPhone. That's perfectly fine, right? You record yourself, or you record yourself on Zoom and share. If you notice my videos on Zoom, 90% of them are unedited. And my co-founder, he always gives me a hard time. Like, I don't care for perfection. Like that video that went viral. I had a stain on my shirt. I didn't notice it. I don't care. Right? Like me, I'll take action as soon as possible because success loves speed. And if you're contemplating and you're like, there's 4 deadly words, what will they think? Right? Those are 4 deadly words that I feel like doesn't make a lot of entrepreneurs grow because they're stuck right there and it's scary. But with me, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I've already been, through the Marines. They ridicule you enough. Like, there's nothing people can tell me that's going to hurt me. Make them think, give them value. Now you have a book under your belt, and then the book is just a lead magnet. I can give that book to 100 people. It'll give me like 20 clients. So just having that book, and don't overthink it. My book is this thin. My daughter was the first one to read my book, and she read it in 15 minutes because I timed her. So it's not really a crazy, it's not a novel. It's not Harry Potter. It's not complicated to write a book. I think a lot of people overthink that, but having a book is almost a key to hitting your first 6 figures just by having the book. That was the key to become verified on social media if you were an author or celebrity, right? So that was my key back then. Hey, if I'm an author, IG's they're gonna verify me because I'm an author and I'm on Amazon.
Incredible. I've heard of like a bunch of things you just mentioned there. I'd love to dive into how you've been doing all your marketing, which it's a lot of free education, giving away free nuggets, becoming an expert with a book, having all these hooks out there. I took some notes prior to this interview of some of your best hooks, but I'm curious to hear from yourself. What are some of the best performing topics or hooks?
Definitely. I'll give these one out for free. Just gems, right? The ones that always going to do good is if you talk about the pledge loan. Pledge loan is a secure loan where you're putting up your own money, right? The banks lock up the money and they give it right back to you, right? So it's like, okay, I want to do a $2,000 pledge loan. They lock it up in savings, give it right back to you. And then 3 days later, you pay it off 95%. So now you have a 95% paid off loan on your report, and that gives you a 20 to 50 point boost. So just that right there is powerful because real estate agents can tell that to their homeowners or future homeowners. Hey, do this because if you want those 20, 30 points, you want to have a 95% loan paid off on your report. So if you do something like that, obviously adding the kid to a credit card, that's a lot of controversy right there. Opening up a credit union versus a traditional Bank of America or Chase, that does well too.
I understand that you made a ton of money in a single day on a YouTube live on your birthday. What was it that happened?
I've always wanted to make money on a webinar kind of style. Mm-hmm. I think with me is I don't prepare enough, right? I'm a last minute kind of person, right? Like just that meetup that went viral was last minute. I think I prepared for like 5 days and we had the meetup. So I was like, hey, my birthday's coming up, but I should have planned this, 6 months ago. So on my birthday, not much, but we had like a 10, 14K day just on my birthday, giving a master class. But that was a big moment where that video, right? You can always repurpose your content because that video can go into short forms, right? Which possibly had the chance of going viral. That video can be an ebook or a book you can put on Amazon, to monetize it. Or that book can always be played as a webinar, as a birthday special.
What were you teaching?
So, just pretty much how to get 20K in 95 days. Cause with the credit union, Navy Federal, there's a strategy that you can get $20,000 in 95 days. And I'll share them with you guys. It's a direct deposit, right? A CD account of $100, an authorized user, at least of 10,000 to 20,000. OOPS, which is optional overdraft protection service. And number 5 is a money market account or savings account. So if you have those 5 things within 95 days of having Navy Fed Credit Union and you apply for a credit card, the chances of them giving you 20,000 are really, really high.
That's amazing. I've never heard of that.
And I think in a little bit of the research beforehand, I saw that it sounded like you had around 500 clients that have gone to that 20,000 goal. So you've gotten like $10 million in funding through that method.
Yeah, just with that method, yes. Yeah, probably right now we're probably like over 600. And another thing, Daniel, we have a lot of clients that reach out to the team and they'll just be like, hey, thank you. I got a $20,000 credit card, right? So they're really grateful because they didn't pay for that. They just followed the steps on YouTube, and that's already reciprocity, right? So
Sure.
they got stuff. Now they're like, hey, man, can you fix my wife's credit or my girlfriend's credit or whatever it is, right? And then just value from YouTube. And then my guys, they'll just joke around like Brandon. He'll just be like, all right, I'll send you the invoice. Santiago will send you the invoice for the 20,000 that you got. And it's just kind of like just joking around, right? But what I did to get 100K, like on YouTube, right? I was doing the Zoom. Now what I'm going to do from 100K to get to $1 million, that's a different thought process. That's more entertainment / credit. And that's what we're working on.
Can you break down a little bit further, like, what do you teach around Navy Federal and all like the hacks, tips and tricks on getting things with Navy Federal?
I feel like Navy Federal, number one, it's the number one bank in the nation, right? So if you had a rich uncle and a poor uncle, who are you going to borrow money from? Right? The rich uncle all day. Okay. But what you do with Navy Federal, you can do with every other bank. It's just that Navy Federal has that lending power where Navy Federal is going to give you 20,000. And as far as like the little guy, the Altura Credit Union or something like that, they might give you 10,000, 15,000 because Navy Federal, they have so many assets. If you go to ibanknet.com, you can type in the credit union's name and Navy Federal will pop up, probably first on every state. And with Navy Federal is, or any other bank that you might even tell people, why do you bank with Bank of America? Oh, I don't know. They're just close to me, right? They don't audit their bank, right? With Navy Federal, I audited the bank. Like, okay, they're going to give you an auto loan. They're going to give you a home improvement loan and you don't even need a home, right? They're going to give you all these products that it's just like, wow, this is very intriguing. So I tell people, don't go to Bank of America. Don't go to Chase. First, build with Navy Federal, earn their trust, right? Get a, auto loan with them, get a credit card with them. Then when you have those two, then you can use that as leverage because now Bank of America and Chase are like, oh, shoot, okay, Keenan's got a $20,000 credit card with Navy Federal. Okay, we can slide him a little 10,000, 15,000. But if you go to Chase first, you'll be lucky to get 2,000 or 5,000. So everyone watching, go to your credit union first. And now you might not have a Navy Federal nearby. It's okay because they're nationwide. But that's why I mentioned, go to ibanknet.com, type in your state, then type in what credit union, and you'll see the top 3 that are in your state, and then sign up with one of those because they'll give you not as much as Navy Fed, but just as close.
Great. So I guess your recommendation there is that these like credit unions are really like a starter bank for clients to get in the door before they go to the bigger nationwide banks. Because
remember, a credit unions, they're for the people, right? Nationwide banks are for the stockholder.
Yeah.
So it's not, go to the credit union. They're the community banks. And that's where you want to build from and start from there. People want to go straight into Bank of America and then they wonder why they only got a $2,000 credit card. It's because your profile is not built enough yet. And that's why the pledge loan is so powerful because you can recycle money and use it with that bank and that bank and that bank. But not everyone offers a pledge loan.
Okay, makes sense. And what are some tactics you teach around business credit that beginners typically miss or make mistakes on?
what I tell people is, as a entrepreneur, we always go to our personal credit while building our business. And that's the wrong way to think. You should be building your business credit so that way your personal credit is not tapped out. Because if your personal credit is used all the way, you're not going to be able to get as much business credit unless you're showing like significant bank statements that you're making a lot of money. So make sure your personal is at least, 680, 720, so you can get some reasonable business funding.
I saw a few other viral clips where you had, you're giving tips on people getting American Express or Amex cards, even with bad credit. What's the path to helping people get into those cards?
So Amex is, it's obviously everyone thinks that Amex is the holy grail, right? For those of you watching, Amex is a tier 2 bank, not even tier 1. So Amex is not, not a Chase, not a Wells Fargo, not a Bank of America. What Amex has, it goes back to the customer, right? You call Amex, man, their customer service, you feel like, man, am I in Dubai? I feel like I'm royalty, right? They have the Amex lounge, right? So that makes them, the card is metal. You know what I mean? So these things right here, from a marketing perspective, it makes it feel like I want the Amex. I want the Amex when Navy Federal is probably way better than Amex. But in that aspect, people wanted to kind of flex. Hey man, where's your Amex? I got an Amex and stuff like that, right? You go to a sports game, they have an Amex line, right? Separates you from general population. But on the Amex side, on the business, there's this Amex Blue Card that if you have a 670, 680 credit score, anyone can pretty much, not anyone, but a majority of people can get approved for that credit card. Low entry, 2,000 to 5,000, but you're in the Amex family. Two things that you can do, but one of them they stopped. You were able to open up a business checking account with Amex to kind of get in the family, and they'll give you a business Amex debit card, but they stopped doing that. And two, have someone add you to an authorized user, to an Amex, and then that'll help you build that traction. One of my co-founders, he had a bankruptcy. Now he has over 200K in credit, but Amex was one of those banks that wouldn't let him in until finally he kept trying and trying, had an authorized user on there. I added him to the business card, and now, luckily he has his own LLC, but now he has his own Amex, not the best limit, but still now he's in.
I'd love to jump into one of these other hacks that you have too, which is, how do you deal with charge-offs too? I saw that was also another trending topic.
For something to be removed from your credit report, right? If it's inaccurate, right? If they can't verify it, unverifiable, they have to prove that is your charge-off, right? So you as a consumer, you have the right to dispute anything as many times, right? As long as you can find erroneous information on a credit report. Using that strategy, you can pretty much, not guaranteed, but almost delete anything from a credit report, because Experian will report something, TransUnion will report something totally different, Equifax will report something totally different. So now you have, you're like a lawyer. Okay, you're stacking up your profile. Like, look, this is not all equal, right? You have one reporting that, one reporting that. Can you make it make sense? Can you verify that this is accurate? Right? So that's one of the ways, you can remove a charge off. I feel like another stuff, and this is just our company. We do a lot of back end stuff. But what does that mean? We'll make sure you only have one name, one phone number, one address, right? We make sure that, because when we're disputing, it's easy or harder for them to prove if old addresses and stuff are not lingering around, right? So just, that's a strategy that we use. Like I said, charge-offs, collections, not the easiest to remove, but we know we have a good stat stat record of removing those. And for anyone watching, is like, don't give up after the first or second round, right? There's different strategies for everything. And we can have two exact profiles for Daniel and Keenan, and we use the exact same thing. But Keenan's collection fell off, but Daniel's is still there. All right. But that's why you have to go back in the lab and kind of like, okay, what did we do wrong? Okay, let's go back on the back end stuff and maybe tweak some stuff. And then maybe this time around, it'll get deleted.
While we're talking about credit repair, what are the most important steps someone should take to actually build new credit while they're fixing the old stuff?
I feel like you want to have a lot of primaries, right? Which those are primaries, but they're kind of like fintech primaries, right? And it doesn't really, it helps the profile for points. And I tell people, don't focus on points, focus on overall profile. Okay, so for me, a $500 secured card from Discover is more powerful than $40 a month of Credit Strong. Okay, so going back and like getting a pre-qualification first, because I always say pre-qualify. Don't go in straight for the kill, because people apply blind and then they get denied and they're like, oh my God, I just lost 3 to 5 points because I applied blind. So if you pre-qualify, see if you get the card. And even if you don't get the card, but the secured card comes up, just take it. Take it, because show them, hey, look, I'm going to show them with this $500 credit card that I'm going to build it back up. And every 3 months, you have the right to ask for a credit limit increase. But you have to use the card, pay it off. Use the card, pay it off. If you can't afford something, sadly, don't use the credit, but use it, pay it off, make multiple payments in the month, like 3 payments a month. That shows the credit card company like, oh man, this guy is paying a lot. Let's kind of boost his credit limit. And, every company, there's no magic touch of how much they're going to raise you. It's all based on what you're spending. And then that's just one. So secured cards. And then, like I said, a pledge loan, that's another one. Authorized user, that just builds your profile. So if you have a grandma, a Grandpa Joe, right? Have them add you to the credit card and don't give you the card, right? Have them keep it or cut it in pieces. But that authorized user is going to get you in more doors, because now you have comparable credit. So one thing that people tell me is you're not going to go from a $500 credit card to a $20,000 credit card. That's not going to happen. You need to have comparable credit. So how do you have comparable credit? If your Grandpa Joe adds you to a credit card and he has at least 10,000, now when you apply for that Navy Fed, right, your chances of getting 20,000 are that much higher because there's a $10,000 card on the report.
Makes sense. Now, back to the credit repair part. What do you think most people get wrong about disputing negative items?
I feel like they give up after the first round. I mean, number one, the letter part, I feel like, someone just starting fail miserably. Hey man, I did this letter, didn't work. But what did you do wrong, or why didn't it work? Because I feel like people just do it one time and they just want to give up, or nah, that letter doesn't work. I paid $500 for those letters and those letters don't work. But every client is different.
Yeah, or they get a stall letter and they get really discouraged. How do you deal with stall letters?
I mean, stall letters are going to happen, right? Like stall letters are just, hey, hey, we see you try to, repair your credit. I'll go in again, a different strategy, a different, maybe a reinsertion law or something like that. It's just many different ways to skin a cat. Right. But if you keep on, fighting for the client, and the client, all they want is like you to touch base with them every month and let them communicate with them. Don't ghost the client because they didn't get no results. You can call a client and say, hey, have you done the pledge loan? Hey, are you a Navy Federal yet? I can help you by getting in. Right. It just offer them more value, because the credit repair is amazing. But when you incorporate credit repair and credit education, oh, now you just, unraveling a certain different type of individual, because now they're more educated. They feel like, wow, that makes sense.
Earlier, we talked about your first 100 clients. We didn't ask, how many clients do you have today?
We're probably at 650.
Or how many do you think you've processed in the entire, you said year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah, year and a half. At least 1,500.
Awesome.
1,500, yeah. For sure, 1,500.
Well, let's talk about other marketing pieces. Once a lead comes in, do you have automations?
So I have ManyChat, right? ManyChat's great. ManyChat, right? They text a keyword, goes to my DM. It'll tell them, hey, appreciate you working on your credit. Let's get you those results, or whatever you're struggling with. Here's my number, and then sign up for Smart Credit or so whatever we're using. And then they sign up, and then they text my my VA. And then we'll follow up there, and we'll call them just to kind of connect with the client. But ManyChat, I know my son was talking to me about it because he helped me set up my ManyChat. It's like $60 a month. And my son, he's 20-year-old in college. He's like, Dad, they keep raising the prices. I'm like, man, ManyChat is an extra employee that I don't got to worry about a 401k. So I'll pay as much as I got to with ManyChat. But yeah, it's just having that automation, and we use our CRM Go High Level, and it's kind of more sequential. So we have the lead, the hot lead, the booking requested, and every time we move them over, there's a sequence of what text they'll get. But automation is really, really important.
I am curious to backtrack a bit on the client communication you do. What do you see often go wrong that your clients make mistakes or do things that you don't want them to do, and how do you get them back on track? What are you doing to coach them to make sure they get the best results?
What I try to do, and not try, I do a call once a month, right? I get everyone, I send a blast Zoom, hey, let's hop on a call, and I kind of go over something. I go over, late payments, or I go over, hey, your credit score went up. That doesn't mean apply for a credit card. Right. But I teach them more the basics, because if you teach someone the basics, right, it's like how to ride a bike. They're not going to forget. So we're on those calls. We're talking about statement date and due date. Right. Those are a big factor. But most of my clients, they see their score go up a little bit, and then they feel like, oh, they want to apply for Mercedes-Benz, and hey, man, I'm still getting denied. And that's why I put on the contract, like, don't apply for nothing while we're in credit repair. And if you want to apply for something, ask me. Because I'll fire a client real quick. Because it's going to mess up the process. And not all money is good money. So that's something to consider, We want to make our clients feel special. And what we do is also that happy birthday when they have a birthday. So anytime someone gets in our CRM, they have, their birthday, and we have a spreadsheet, all that stuff that automates when they're going to get their happy birthday text. Because, I know sometimes when your birthday comes and not that many people text you, it's like, man, but if your credit repair company texts you, hey, happy birthday, we want you to have the best, financial day possible. It means a lot. And they remember that. And there's little things like that I think separates you from other companies.
What's the toughest lesson you've learned as a business owner, one that really hurt but helped the most?
Not reinvesting back into the company enough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think as an entrepreneur, sometimes we want to hoard it because, I got this expense, and I got rent, and I got this and that. And if you reinvest everything back into the company, it's just going to come back even more. But for that meanwhile, it's okay to eat, ramen and tuna, as long as your team is getting fed and, they're happy. But I think that's one of the big ones, like not reinvesting. Majority of your money should be reinvested back into your business, back into marketing, back into events.
What's one piece of advice you'd give to someone who wants to start their own credit repair business?
you're giving from your heart and you don't want nothing in return, right? Like you genuinely want to help them because, you heard of all these stories of people, like even yourself, right? Living out of your car, being homeless. Those are touching stories that even us as credit repair owners, they'll come to us and be like, hey man, I'm living out of my car, but I need to fix my credit. Hey man, don't worry about it, bro. I got you for the first 2 months. Just get well. All right. We're here. We're not going nowhere. And that right there will go farther for your business because you're looking out for them rather than your own self. So if you genuinely want to help people, sometimes swallow that pocket and don't just think like, oh man, that client is another in a thou or whatever the case.
And I like that it feels like your business is based on the law of karma, that it really is about helping people, and that the more people you help, then good things happen to you. I believe the same thing. And I really think that if that's where your heart is, you will succeed. And sure enough, you have. But that's how you look at the world, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, being a Marine, being raised by a single mom, right? Like, I want to instill some great values in my kids, ultimately just helping people, but, for the right purpose. Like, I want to help you, get ahead. And I feel like with the credit stuff, everyone's struggling with credit.
Okay, I want to switch gears now, and I'm going to ask you a few rapid questions and answer with the very first thing that pops into your head, okay?
Let's go.
What is your business superpower?
Culture.
What's your business kryptonite, being the area you had to work the hardest to improve?
Always, I guess, trying to perfect customer service.
What does business ownership mean to you?
I'm leading by example.
What drives and motivates you?
I want my team to definitely have their more assets.
What's your definition of success?
Team. No success without a team.
And if you could go back in time and tell yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Fix your credit from the time you're 18.
And do you have any other advice for someone just starting out with a credit repair business?
It's easy to keep going when you're motivated. It's to keep going when there's everything falling apart. Right? Those days are the ones that, that are going to make you. And look at those days, because those are the days that define you. Because it's easy, like, oh, you got up today. Oh, yeah, I'm going to fix some credit clients, right? But it's the days that you got 5 clients that are upset because of X, Y, and Z, right? Those are the days that are going to make you better, because now you can fix those problems and now get comfortable with it.
What's next for you? What's the next big goal?
I see you have a 10 million plaque. You're kind of showcasing it, but just more nationwide. We want to do more speaking events, more meetup events, because we have a lot of clients nationwide, and I want to give them, just an opportunity so we can all connect and make that mindset shift where they can start making money with credit.
Awesome. And how can people find your products and reach out to you?
On YouTube, they can type in Ecom Bulldog. I would start there because there's so much information on there. And then on Instagram, it's Lawtino Solutions, LAWTINO Solutions. And the name, I came up with Lawtino because I was going to be an attorney, and my law firm was going to be called Lawtino Law Firm.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Santiago. This was a lot of fun. Did you have a good time?
Yes. Very seamless. Thank you.
Good. And for everyone out there watching, if you're finding value in the things we share on this podcast, click below to subscribe and follow. Also, give us a 5-star review or share the show and help us to change more lives. If you have a question or a comment, drop it down below because we read each and every one of them. We would love to hear from you, and we'll respond as soon as we can. And if you want to learn how 8 other millionaires got their first clients, tune in here. And if you'd like to start your very own credit repair business or learn how to earn extra income repairing credit for others, check out my brand new Start Repairing Credit Challenge. So sign up right now at startrepairingcredit.com and keep changing lives.